Okay, so welcome back from part two. I haven't actually moved because I just hit record there. I'm trying to do this all together. So the last person we heard from was Mr. Big Red. Mr. Big Red was key in pointing me to this person, which is Wrestlebuddy, who goes on YouTube. She's a great gal, Australian. G'day, mate. I'm sure you get sick of that, but just thought I'd say hello to you. So she asked quite a lot of questions. So we'll start off. Do you think Stone Cold Steve Austin has one more match in him? Yes, he does. If he's careful, he does. Obviously, he can't go in with like fucking Ryback and Stone Cold Steve Austin would be a heck of a big move. This is like whenever Kurt Angle was, near enough held together with sellotape in WrestleMania 19, and he's going in against, he had like neck issues, and he's going in against Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar doesn't know his own strength. And then these two had a great match. I think Angle tore his hamstring in the middle of the match, and you just don't know. So I think if Austin was booked with somebody who's very careful, and Austin can do stuff, like he can still do the Luthez press, stunner obviously, like the moves we've grown to know and love from Stone Cold Steve Austin, then I think he does, yeah. Who's your favourite commentating team? Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. Those two were fantastic. Even Jerry Lawler says, like people still come up and go like you and JR are my favorite announced team apart from Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan. Just chemistry between them. Even seeing Bobby Heenan getting so upset that like he wishes Monsoon was there in the Hall of Fame. I think that was a really touching moment. What has been my favorite match that you've seen live? It would probably be. That's a tough one actually. It would probably be the favourite match that I have was, I think it was Chris Masters. Bear with me. I think it was Chris Masters and or was it MVP and Edge or somebody in Edge versus Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels at Belfast, and somebody jumped over the rail and attacked Shawn Michaels, which it was just ridiculous, and that's obviously stuck in my head. There was a match between Edge and Batista that was really good. There was a casket match between CM Punk and The Undertaker, which was brilliant as well. Over in Manchester, I saw some terrific matches, like on the Raw. It's actually, I got to saw what? Yeah, I got to saw. I got to see like DX and things like that, and just some really memorable moments. But seeing Raid RKO win the belts would probably be the big moment for me, and obviously WrestleMania 29 will be an even bigger moment. Who are your favourite superstars from TNA? Sting and Hogan, probably. I'm not a huge Austin Aries fan. I'm not a huge Jeff Hardy fan. I did like Matt Morgan whenever he was there. I've gone off the boil with TNA, Mr. Anderson. Samoa Joe I always kind of liked, but he needs to sort of just brush on his head, says the guy talking about hair like. I honestly don't know what to answer that with, but I'll probably say Sting and Hulk Hogan. I think Billy Ray's come on leaps and bounds since he's left WWE. I think he's come on brilliantly. So yeah, he would be a very much improved one. So he would. What do you think about Aces and Eights? I thought it was a good idea until Devon was the ringleader of it. I think Jeff Jarrett would have been a more mark-out moment. I think if Jeff Jarrett was trying to bring down the company that he created, would have made more sense than, Devon, who apparently had, left because he didn't sign a new contract, and then, like this is almost like they were trying to play this as like the CM Punk of TNA, that, like he's left and then he's come back, and it's just a very, like most things with TNA, like they show such promise, and at the end it's just like, right, we'll put the name in the hat, and they're like, oh, it's Devon, yay. What is something that you like to see more from the YouTube wrestling community? I'd like us to all do whether it's like a podcast or something like that together. Now I know myself and Mr. Big Red, Swanton, Gurley and Alan are thinking about doing something, between us all, which we will come out and say at a later stage. But I think if we were to interact more with others, obviously Twitter's a great foil for that, but I think if we were to have, at the end of each pay-per-view or whatever, if we were able to get on Skype all together and record it, you know, because I know Mr. Mrkhaosheel and Mr. Loaldo95 all do that, whereas if we have more input for other people, and I think if we were to get to know each other better, I mean, because there's people like, I think it's Hinder the Great, who lives in Northern Ireland. He seems a great fella, but I've only talked to him on Twitter. It's through YouTube that I got, you know, I obviously worked with Haley, but obviously got to know a bit more about Mr. Big Red, and then obviously I'm going to WrestleMania with him, so, you know, there's things like that. Who do you think would win against CM Punk and Stone Cold in his prime? Stone Cold, hands down. I think Stone Cold's a lot more conniving than CM Punk is. I think Stone Cold, I think, you know, they're both great athletes, don't get me wrong, but I'm just a Stone Cold mark, so I would always go for Stone Cold over Punk. What would be your dream main event WrestleMania match? Well, I'm always going to say Stone Cold versus CM Punk at this moment in time, but I would love to see another Stone Cold versus The Rock, you know, number 4. I think these matches were just terrific. They had such chemistry with each other, and the matches are timeless. Obviously Hogan Austin would have been a terrific match to see, but kind of, you know, a bit long in the tooth now, Hogan, so I don't think that's going to happen. What do you think about Randy Orton now? Boring as heck. Even somebody on, I think it was ProWrestling.net, had done like their Hell in a Cell predictions, and it actually said that about the Orton and Del Rio match. I'll try not to fall asleep through that, which is pretty much true. Del Rio, I was really high on, and it just seems to be him and the Sheamus matches. They went on far too long. It was like whenever Cena fought Orton for so many, and they were like, "This will be the last time you get to see this." It's like, thank God. But I think Orton could turn heel. It looks like with his hair and everything, it looks like we've went back to 2006. But he needs to turn heel. He needs to become a Viper, because last time I checked, Vipers didn't turn around and smile and things like that, you know. But who do you think would face Undertaker at WrestleMania next year? I would love to see Undertaker versus John Cena, just to see whether Cena would actually have what it takes to make the Undertaker lose a streak, or whether he would come close. Obviously he's fought The Rock, you know, like, and lost, so whether he would have the cojones to go against the Undertaker. Favourite wrestler from WCW? Eddie Guerrero, or, you know, was never really a big fan of Goldberg. I never really watched WCW whenever it was on, to be honest with you. But I'd probably say him or Sting. Obviously Sting made his name there, so had some great matches and stuff. So I'd probably say Sting then. What is your favourite wrestling shirt that you own? Probably my best in the world, my white t-shirt, although I am quite fond of my Stealing the Show and Your Girlfriend Ziggler t-shirt, which I wore in the last video. There's so many that I've had, or, you know, like, got rid of. I do have a Hulkamania t-shirt, but because I've worn it so much, it's kind of like, it's a different colour here, and then down the very bottom it's a different colour. So a huge Hogan mark. I did have like a Watt t-shirt or Austin 316, which obviously is pretty iconic. So that's just a few of them anyway. If you could pick any diva to go on a date with, who would it be and why? Mickie James. I think Mickie James is such a great talent, as Wrestlebuddy said in her last video to do with Beth Phoenix leaving. I think it was a tragedy that she got let go from the WWE. I think Mickie James is an attractive heck of a woman. I think she's just absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And she seems to be able to perform well in the ring. Obviously she could serenade me with her lovely country and western, hardcore country kind of thing, you know, like, or things like that. And yeah, I would say Mickie James. If I had to pick somebody from the past instead of now, I'd probably go for either Tori Wilson or Sonny. Who are your favourite male and or female YouTubers? Right, I'm going to pick two here. My favourite females would be Wrestlebuddy and Swanton Girly, because they're the only two that I actually follow that I actually think are worthwhile following on YouTube, to be honest with you. They come out with good videos, they make sense. They're both nice people, so it's not that bad. to do, to look at. And so if I had to pick two favourite male YouTubers, that's a lot more difficult because they're a lot more widespread, if you know what I mean. I think MartinTalks would probably be one because he does something different. I'm doing a Q&A and I know loads of people. I know Swanton Gurley, I know Chris Hill, I know you've all done one, so I'm kind of following the trend here. Martin does his music, his piano stuff, which I think is highly entertaining. Somebody that I follow on YouTube who I think is terrific because they do turtle reviews and stuff is Sween Halleck, who I do the What the Shell podcast with. I think he is an entertaining guy. He's like a walking dictionary. The amount of words that he comes out with and stuff is just tremendous. I think he's a great guy. So I'd probably say those two. Mr. Big Red coming a close third. Obviously, I'm not going to get away with, not mentioning somebody and then them getting upset. So next one is from MartinTalks. View on the current state of WWE. I think, as I've said before, it needs to push its younger talent. I think it needs to have faith in its talent. Their Ziggler's had the Money in the Bank briefcase for quite some time. He hasn't cashed it in yet. They need to be able to pull the trigger. You look at Cody Rhodes whenever he was coming up to Money in the Bank, everyone thought that him or Ziggler were going to win it. Now Rhodes is teaming with Damien Sandow. I think those two are great together. But what's going to happen next if they fail and the tag team kind of breaks up? What are those two going to do? I think like Rhodes went on a real big losing streak. But there's so many talent, like Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger for me could be the next Kurt Angle. I think he's got the skills. Like you look at him, you look at Shelton Benjamin, you look at the ones that were the pure athletes, never got such a break in WWE in my opinion. So they need to go back to 2 hours on Raw. I think they need to bring SmackDown down to an hour, because I think that 2 hours is too much. I think if they were to do an hour, they've got the main event stuff that you don't do on SmackDown, doing the main event thing. I think they need to stop messing around with the GM stuff and things like that. Like obviously the whole AJ and Vicky being the supervisor, managerial, cougar of the month or whatever mode. I think they just need to put somebody in place and keep them there, and do it that way. What is the story of getting into doing YouTube videos? I think it was mainly a case of because I was hanging around with Chris and Haley. Those two were doing YouTube videos, and I thought, not to toot my own horn, but toot toot. But I think I could talk. I think I have a sense of humour that people get. So my videos aren't always, I think that they should do this, and it's just monotone. I'm not saying people's videos are, but I kind of just thought, well, maybe I could do that. If I'm going to get figures, then I could do that. I could do DVD reviews and things like that. But I kind of did like so many, and then kind of just stopped for a while, and then that's why I thought, right, if I do the Q&A, this will give me a couple of videos to put up and ramp up the numbers a bit more anyway. So that's why I've done that. So it was basically because of those two, and those two have some great subscribers and video views, and I will never ever catch them. But I'm always grateful whenever they plug me on their channels, as anyone else, hint hint, nudge nudge. But I'm always grateful whenever people have dropped me a message on Twitter or like the video and that kind of thing. And I just try to speak from the heart rather than trying to BS you all and just say, I love Mrkhaosheel, he's the best ever, yay! What was the catalyst or drive to start the WrestleShock podcast? I think Alan and I had done like a 2001 year in review on RetroShock, and we enjoyed it that much. Because I have the DVDs here, we just look on the back of them and we say like, this happened in this pay-per-view, this happened in that, that's happened in that, and like we spent like a couple of hours talking about wrestling, and it was really good fun. And then him and I started carrying on doing that. Obviously then we got, kept doing RetroShock because WrestleShock was kind of going by the wayside. So whenever I stopped doing my Master Universe Chronicles, my He-Man podcast, I asked Alan if I could take that on. Now, fair enough, it hasn't had the kiss of life that it sorely needed. Like we've done so many good things. We've interviewed the Honky Tonk Man, that kind of thing, and then it's kind of fell flat bit, but then with Christmas fast approaching, it's really hard to try and get time. You know, like I'm having to record What the Shell podcast at like 10:30 at night. You know, like on Monday to do with the last two episode reviews and that kind of thing. So it's kind of a case of that. But Wrestle Shock will come back at some stage. I've got something in the works for it anyway. But that was probably much it, because we enjoyed doing that. We decided to keep doing it, and then it kind of just stopped. And then obviously I got in touch with Silvervision. They sent me the reviews, copies of discs, and then just review them. Who would you like to sign your World Heavyweight Championship belt? Hulk Hogan. I would love to get the spray paint and get him to do the NWO on it and get him to sign it. I think that would be class. But yeah, Hulk Hogan. And the future of Chris Vent on YouTube. Pretty much just what you see, just like more videos. Any ideas welcome. If people are wanting to cross over and do other things on YouTube, then let me know. And his last question is, where's Martin? That's something I would like to know. I've been trying to contact Martin for ages. I've sent him messages, I sent him flowers, I wrote him letters on Xbox Live, and he just doesn't reply. And I've sent a message on Twitter and stuff, and he just doesn't reply. So I think Martin has probably just went into shutdown mode and just decided to be like the Where's Wally of the YouTube universe. You know, so if you spot him, make sure you point him out to everyone else. So I hope you come back soon, Martin, because I kind of miss your pretty little face and your entertaining videos. So hopefully I'll not be away for too long. Right, so this will be the last one in this one, because I've got quite a lot to go through next. So the last one here is from Mrkhaosheel. You've won this, by the way, so if you can get in touch with me on YouTube, or you follow me on Twitter and I follow you, so just drop me a DM with your address and I'll send that off to you as soon as I can. So favourite present WWE superstar, went to that, Dolph Ziggler. Favourite past WWE superstar, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Favourite return would be Hulk Hogan in 2002 for the WWE as the NWO. I think that was just pretty gigantic, you know, like obviously a lot of people, sorry, I look like I'm falling down here. A lot of people, you know, I could watch WCW, I hadn't, so I was aware of NWO, but not what it existed of and that kind of stuff. So whenever you saw him, Nash and Hall coming out first thing in the No Way Out pay-per-view, I think that was very good. Favourite WWE moment? God, that's a tough one. The actual moment, you know, would probably be whenever The Rock said to Hulk Hogan, you know, like, how about going one-on-one with the Great One? And he goes like, yes or no, what's it going to be? And Hogan goes, yes, it'll be a pleasure to kick your ass at WrestleMania. And then obviously we had that match, which I've actually got my DVD player to watch later on. So that would be one. Shawn Michaels super kicking Hulk Hogan was a big what the moment. There's been so many, like unfortunately whenever Eddie Guerrero passed, I'll never forget watching that Raw before I went to work and just really bawling my eyes out because it was just so sad. Favourite WWE match? Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, or The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin from WrestleMania 17. Or, if I had to pick three, would be the Survivor Series 2002. No, Shawn Michaels versus Triple H from SummerSlam 2002. That's the top three. Top three Undertaker moments. Whenever he came back at WrestleMania 20, after he'd been buried alive by Kane, that evil man. Whenever he won against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. That was one reason why that was the only reason that pay-per-view was watchable, was because of that match. The other stuff in that card was pure muck and just awful. And probably winning the belt from Hogan in his second Survivor Series, because obviously he debuted in 1990, won at 91, so that would be top three. Favourite GM? Ric Flair. I think Ric Flair will come back and be the GM. I think he would do the job well. I think they should have given it to Regal though instead of Vicky, to be honest. Favourite storyline? Not the Katie Vick one, let's leave it at that. I'll come back to that one. Favourite DVD would be probably WrestleMania 17, 18 or Royal Rumble 2001. I'm trying to think of a favourite storyline. I honestly don't know. Favourite figure went over. Favourite manager, Bobby the Brain Heenan. I think he just had the gift of the gab. You know, his DVD is terrific. If you have any doubts about watching it, do go watch it. It's very good. He should fix Undertaker WrestleMania 29. I've already said that. Should Taker WrestleMania 29? He should, and he better damn well do it. Thoughts on TNA went over that. Favourite YouTube video? No idea. Charlie bit my finger, probably just for the laugh. No, I've seen some, like a friend of mine who MOTU Classics. He does great video reviews with his son. Like the new one was his two sons dressed up as Captain America and the Hulk, and the Avengers music in the background, which was just terrific, really good fun. Who should win the 2013 Royal Rumble? CM Punk if he loses against The Rock, and then he could challenge The Rock at WrestleMania. Who should be fired? God. Brodus Clay, because that gimmick just doesn't work for that big fella at all. That's like whenever the Big Show came out and started impersonating people and things like that. It just did not work. He looked so uncomfortable. If you were to give the two girls to dance and he just walks to the ring, that's fine. I think, you know, like, it's only a matter of time before he turns. I think he'll be better as a heel, you know, like whenever he was with Del Rio than he is now, to be honest. Who should return? Are you talking about, well, obviously you want Austin to return, because it would just be brilliant to have, but obviously if you wanted somebody in order to return to actually wrestle, I'm trying to think of people who've actually left, to be honest. I would want Mickie James to return to try and brighten up the Divas division, because there's not that many Divas there, to be honest with you, and if you think about it, you only have Eve and Xana as heels at the minute, so you need to get people back, you know, Trish Stratus, Lita, for example. So yeah, those three. Will Jericho return in 2013? No, he won't. I think Jericho is done until he stops touring with Fozzy. I think they've tried to work something out and it wasn't beneficial to either party, so I think it's a case of you'll not see him. I'd love to see him at WrestleMania. I'd love to see him return at the Rumble, but I don't think he will. Should The Rock win the title? I would love The Rock to win the title at the Royal Rumble, and here's my reason why. I want to see The Rock in an Elimination Chamber match. I don't care if The Rock's not there every week. I want to see him in the Elimination Chamber match against like 5 others to see if he could, he could still go the distance with all these other, you know, talents and things like that. Plus you'll get to see people, you know, like obviously we've seen Rock Bottom, you know, like John Cena, Daniel Bryan. We've seen Punk, you know, hit GTS on him. So whether you get other people in there like Cody Rhodes or, you know, Ziggler, and you get that kind of involvement going on, you can really hit a spark there. So as to go back to the favourite storyline, I honestly am trying to think, and I honestly have drawn a blank. And it's not the Big Show and the Big Boss Man, Chris, you know what I'm talking about. I would probably say the Undertaker Brock Lesnar in 2002, whenever Brock was like putting his hand on like Sarah's stomach because she was pregnant, and then those two just going on and having a great Hell in a Cell match. So probably be that. Anyway, so this video's went on for near enough 25 minutes, and I still have Swanton Gurley, Mr. LFC WWE fan, and Jordan Holloway to go. So they'll be the next ones. So join me for video number 3.